What is good, YouTube? Kyle here from Wrestling with Fans, and I've got a fun video for you guys today. We are ranking the current WWE Championship belt designs. Let's hop right into it. All right, as you can see here, I've got 6 categories for all the belts. We've got the Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and NXT UK titles all listed down here below. These are the current iterations. This video does well. Maybe we'll go back and do some classic WWE Championship belt designs in the same format. Let's run down the different tiers we have. The best of the best. Such good shit, pal. Such good shit. Best of the best. Right below that, we have solid design. Right under that, we have passable, kind of middle of the road. Also, kind of in the middle of the road, we have corporate shill. That'll make more sense here shortly. Right below that, just meh. You know, they're meh. And finally, the worst of the worst, because reasons. One of my favorite sayings here at Wrestling with Fans. So let's start listing these bad boys out. Let's start off with the current WWE Championship belt design. And if you haven't guessed why I have the corporate shill tier, that is because this is a corporate shill belt. It is basically just a giant WWE logo in gold and diamonds. While I do love the WWE logo, I do long for the days of the older WWE Championship belt designs, the Winged Eagle, Big Eagle, and also the same goes for the Blue Universal title. The Universal title, however, it is on a blue strap. It is a red strap when it is on the Raw brand. It is currently on SmackDown, so we got the blue. I do like the blue. Next up, we have the NXT Men's Championship. I do love the overall design of the plates, the center plate and the side plates. The angular look, the NXT across the middle. However, I'm only going to put this in passable. I wish this belt had a little more contrast to it, and I'll get to why I put this in passable here shortly. We have the NXT UK Championship, and this is the very first belt going up in such good shit. I absolutely love this design, especially the center plate. It has a very regal feel to it with the 2 lions on either side of the bright red shield with NXT written down the middle. It pops. That red definitely contrasts from the rest of the gold and black of the center plate. And again, it just has this very royal and regal feel to it. I love the design. It is one of the best that WWE currently has out there right now. The next design is the NXT Women's Championship. Now, it is an exact copy of the men's title. However, on the women's title, the NXT lettering on the center plate has a silver color to it. And for that reason alone, it goes up 1 tier higher in solid design. I love the overall look of the men's and women's NXT belts. The one thing the women's belt has is just that silver coloring. The contrast in the belts makes it pop a little bit more than the men's. Therefore, that is why it goes up 1 tier higher. Up next, we have the NXT UK Women's Championship. Again, like with the men's UK title, it has a very royal and regal feel. The lions on either side of the red shield with NXT down the middle. The center plate just pops. It draws you into it. I love the look of this belt. I'm going to put it 1 tier lower than the men's because of the white strap. I prefer the black leather strap for championships. Most of the women's belts have a white strap, I guess, to distinguish them from the men's, except for the NXT women's belt for some reason. It's on a black strap. But for me, it goes 1 tier lower than the men's. I do love this belt. It is a great design. Up next is the Raw Women's Championship. And like with its male counterparts, both the Raw and SmackDown women's titles are going in the corporate shill category. All the belts are designed exactly the same. The women's center plate is slightly smaller than the men's. The Raw Women's title obviously has a red background behind the WWE logo, and the SmackDown Women's title has the blue background But again, it is just a very simple WWE logo in the center plate. I neither love nor do I hate them. They're just kind of in the middle. I'm not a big fan of the white straps, as I've said previously, but they're still okay belts. They all go in the corporate shill category. Next up is the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I'm a huge fan of the classic Intercontinental Championship. It is probably my favorite belt design of all time. I am not a huge fan of this current iteration. To me, this belt is very meh. I don't like it. I don't hate it. I just kind of meh. I don't really feel much for it. And I hate that because that is one of my favorite championship belts. Next up, we have the United States Championship. And I just have to say, I love this belt. I was a real big fan of the previous iteration of the U.S. title. And I was kind of surprised when they created a new one, but I love this design. The red and white stripes underneath, behind the gold eagle in the center. United States in red, champion in blue, the white stars across the top with the WWE logo. But it's only a solid design for me. This belt is an instant such good shit, in my own opinion, if there was a blue background at the top behind the white stars. I would think that it would just add a lot more contrast. It would make the belt pop even more than it already does. I want to put it at such good shit, but I just can't unsee that. For me, it is a solid design with potential to become such good shit if they just added a little blue coloring to the top. Next, we have the NXT North American Championship. Now, this is one of the exceptions to my black strap rule. I love this dark burgundy belt. I love the center plate, the simple circular design with the gold ring around the outside, the black background with the silver North American map layout. It pops. It has a lot of contrast in it, and that is one thing that I love in a good title belt design. This is a very easy, such good shit for me. I love this belt. Next, we have the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Previously, it was on a purple strap. Now it is on a black strap with the all-silver center plate and the silver side plates. The center plate does have a slight hint of purple and some of the design around the outside of the center plate. To me, it is just very, very plain. It looks like someone took a purple Sharpie and put a couple dots on a nickel, and then they just glued that to a black leather strap. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't hate it. I like the overall design of it. It's just very plain, and it is also very meh. Next, we have the Raw and SmackDown Men's Tag Team Championships. Now, again, this is another semi-exception to my rule. I do like the red and blue leather straps, respectively, for Raw and SmackDown. But my exception is for the center plates. I love these center plate designs. They are all silver. I wish there was some type of contrast to them just to make them pop a little more. From a distance, they just look like giant silver circles on their colored straps. But when you look in closely with the Spartan helmets and the overall design, I do like the belts. Maybe they'll update them and add a little bit of coloring to the center plates to give them a little contrast, make them pop, make them stand out a little bit more. But for me, they are both passable. They're a little better than meh. They are not a solid design. They're passable. They're just kind of right there in the middle of the road. Again, I don't hate them. I don't love them. I do like them. Up next, we have the Women's WWE Tag Team Championship belts. They are very small. They are very gold and silver. I am not a huge fan of these belts, to be honest. I know there are some that do enjoy them. I'm not one of them. I think they are very meh. Again, I'm not a fan of the white leather strap as a backing, especially when the belt is just silver and gold. It seems very simple and very plain. I'm just not a fan of them. Next up in the tag team belts, we have the NXT Men's Tag Team Championships. I do like the design, the geometric looking design of the center plate that is kind of silver with a lot of gold accent to it, and then the silver NXT down the middle. that makes it stand out. The silver in the rest of the main plate is a different tone of silver, so the NXT lettering in the middle does stand out, especially with the gold accents around the outside as well. These are a solid design to me. I do like the hexagon shape of the center plate. I do like the angle, kind of like a sideways looking shield of the side plates of these belts. It is a solid design. I really enjoy the NXT Men's Tag Team Championships. Next up is the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. Now, these have a very Intercontinental title feel. The belts are smaller, the circular center plate, and then it kind of has these bar side plates between the circular WWE corporate logo side plates. It is similar to the Men's and Women's UK Championships with the regal feel, the two lions, but the belt is so small it's really hard to see the design unless you get up really, really close. And for that, it kind of falls into meh to me. The belts are a little bit bigger and where you could see them a little better. You know, they could easily move up to passable or solid design. But there's just something about them that I just don't like. So they fall into meh. Last and certainly least of all the WWE Championship designs is the 24/7 Championship. The giant gold center plate, the gold rectangle side plates, 24/7 in green paint across the center plate. There's nowhere else to put it other than because reasons. Now, while I do love R-Truth and the comedy that he brings to the show with the 24/7 title, the belt itself is just atrocious. I don't like it. I don't know many people that defend the look of the 24/7 title. It is just god-awful. It is because reasons. And that's it. There's nothing else I can say. It's just because reasons looking belt. All right, guys, let's recap what we've done here. Such good shit. The Men's UK NXT Championship and the American NXT North American title, the two best championship designs that WWE currently has, in my opinion. Under solid design, it's the NXT Women's Championship, the NXT UK Women's Championship, the United States Championship, and the NXT Men's Tag Team titles. Passable belts are the NXT Men's title and the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The corporate shill belts, for obvious reasons, the WWE Championship, the Blue Universal title, the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. In the meh category, the Intercontinental Championship, the NXT Cruiserweight title, the Women's WWE Tag Team titles, and the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. And finally, nothing else needed to say, the 24/7 title, well, because reasons. All right, guys, so there you have it. That is all of the current designs of the WWE Championships. Let me know what you think. Is your list similar to mine, or is yours list different? Let me know down in the comments section below. I'd love to get your opinion. How would you rank the current WWE Championship belt designs? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big old fat thumbs up. And please consider subscribing if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more content from us right here at Wrestling with Fans. Once again, my name is Kyle. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all in the next video.